to another episode of the Caffeinated Librarians. Did you like that? On this week's episode, we're actually celebrating the beginning of Pride Month. And so we're going to be taking a look at Netflix's adaptation of the popular webtoon, Heartstopper. I know it's gotten a lot of traction lately, so I'll pass it to Simona to tell us about the show.
That was like hot potato. Okay.
You're better at explaining things without me rambling.
Before we start, can I ask you guys a serious question that ever since I watched it might have been the last episode. No, it was the second to last episode. That's been on my mind. I hope this doesn't offend anyone.
I'm not
that's
easily
my camera,
offended.
Right? Who on the planet gets bubblegum flavored milkshakes? Disgusting.
That sounds awful.
Awful.
It sounds like one of
awful.
those tricks. You know how like the dentist would be like, "Oh, you can get the bubblegum fluoride," and it tasted worse than anything you've ever had. Yeah.
No, I agree with that absolutely.
Automatic red flag.
Yeah. And then Charlie had the amazing chocolate looking one, and then Nick tries that one, and it's obviously better.
Of course, it's obvious.
Because you chose a bubblegum milkshake, Nick.
So for the record, this is how the dynamic in my relationship works, is I clearly get everything better. And then he's like...
No.
He's like, I kind of want that now. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
No.
But then that was a perfect opportunity for them to share, which is, I think...
It's an indirect kiss.
Yeah, that was Nick's plan.
So Nick got a crappy milkshake twice in order to share a milkshake with Charlie.
He wasn't ready to try something new, but then he went for it, and he
liked it.
liked
Oh, it had a deeper meaning. Oh, okay. I like it.
We gotta peel back those layers.
I like it.
And then, like,
ogres
Charlie might not be
have
out of his comfort
layers.
zone, so he got him to try something new.
We're onions.
Something sweet.
Fair enough.
And pure.
Fair enough. Anyway, I'm sorry, Simone.
That's okay.
But that has been on my mind for the last,
So much deep meaning.
37 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so as Amanda said,
Because what
Heartstopper...
flavor ice cream do you use? You know what I mean?
Bubblegum.
Is there bubblegum flavor
Yeah,
ice
you
cream?
can go to Carvel, and you'll see that only one person has ever scooped out of that bin.
Really?
Yeah, like legitimately. You go there and you look at all the flavors. You
the
can tell which
same
one's
ice
popular.
cream for 20 years.
Go to Uncle Giuseppe's or no.
Uncle Giuseppe's gone.
Yeah, they're gone now. I had a rumor. Oh, sad. I like the banana.
R.I.P. Uncle Giuseppe.
Good place.
Okay, go ahead, Simona.
I can definitely start now?
Yes.
And more ice cream.
We'll see how it goes.
All right, so as Amanda said, it's adapted from a webcomic, and it's also a graphic novel, which we own, by the way. And
Do we own the whole series?
It's not out fully yet, but
no?
we have, I think, to the most current, and there's also novels as well within the world, and I know we have 2 of them, I believe.
Cool.
So come, stop by, check them out. So the series primarily tells the story of Charlie Spring, who develops a crush on his classmate Nick Nelson, whom he assumes is straight, because Nick Nelson is on the rugby team, so you don't play sports if you're gay. So that was a big indicator for him that he's straight, or he thinks he's straight. So Charlie feels a little conflicted because, as I said, he's not sure if Nick is gay or if he's straight. But eventually romance blossoms between the two. It's so cute. And at the same time, Nick also comes to grips with his own sexuality. And it's also, I was watching this YouTuber was reacting to the scene where Nick Googles, "Am I gay?" I guess that's the starting point. And the way like he Googles and he researches the question. And also a lot of people appreciate the fact, spoiler, Charlie is bisexual. For those
Not Charlie.
No, Nick
I'm
is.
sorry, Nick
Nick?
is bisexual.
I know,
sorry.
I get their names. There's a...
I'm sorry, Nick is bisexual. Charlie is gay. And people... Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was like an outside noise. I'm sorry. And,
I think it is an outside noise.
It's coming from that way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
But it's outside of this room.
Okay.
Now you're thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like this one YouTuber was saying that she liked the depiction of bisexuality in the show because there's a lot of stigma against bisexual people even
Agreed.
within the gay community.
Yeah.
This notion that they can't be trusted, that they're just like in it to like, you know, that they're going to be cheaters. So she liked the depiction of bisexuality in the show.
I'll jump in on that because I agree with that. Watching that it's the first thing it's the first time I remember actually seeing something where a character identified as bisexual that wasn't kind of depicted in a negative way.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of times you watch stuff and bisexuality is depicted in kind of like a
With a negative.
non-committal kind of way.
Yeah.
And
Is it
everything
like a
that.
negative connotation
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
highly
And-
stereotypical?
And
Yeah.
usually, what I've remembered seeing is whenever there's a bisexual character, they're usually female.
Yeah.
So I thought that this was and it wasn't just like, you know, you saw him really doing his research, you saw him really Googling stuff and looking stuff up, and I thought the way that he came to that self-identification was very natural,
Mm-hmm.
and refreshing to see.
Yeah, and also, what I think they depicted really well too was, well, what I loved first and foremost about this is that it's a story of gay romance that doesn't center around one of them is dying, you know, one of them is severely depressed. It's like you have.
I mean, we'll get to that in season 2, but.
We are not talking about season 2. 'Cause
Season
there
2,
It
I'm
doesn't
telling you.
exist
is
yet.
no season 2.
Oh, they've already confirmed a season 2. It's on the Netflix
Oh,
playlist.
yeah.
They're like, oh, it's
But-
coming. And I'm like, oh, and you know what else is coming? I do.
Well,
So what happens? Somebody gets depressed and kills themselves?
No, not that far, but you can see signs of it in the first season. But
I can't handle another show with like talking about suicide.
It's
I can't do it, guys.
kind of.
That
So
took so much
Nick-
out of me.
So Nick is a
Aw.
character who has been through a lot, as we've seen. He's been kind of
Yeah, where's Nick's dad?
You'll find out in
Yeah.
either season 2 or season 3. I think season 3 will be more accurate if they're going to go with the amount of episodes and what arcs they're going to go for. But you will meet Nick's dad because he's part of the big Paris field trip that they take. I think in the second season they're going to go
oui.
into. So, but you don't really meet him then, but you know that he lives in France. His
That's-
parents aren't married, so
Well, I got
Yeah.
that vibe.
and Nick has a brother too, and
I didn't know that.
we don't like him.
Oh, okay.
So season 2 is setting up to already be kind of very dramatic in a lot of things, and some like relationships are growing, some are like, you know, becoming more understanding, which is great about the story. But going back to Charlie is a very complicated individual because
Yeah.
of everything he's been through. He knows he's gay,
Mm-hmm.
and he, unfortunately, they didn't put this in the show, but due to his friend Tao in the comics, which I know since you guys watched it, there's a scene, and it's my only complaint with the show, really, was that Tao was upset that he found out last that Charlie and Nick were dating, but he wanted to know why he was the last one. And they chalked it up to him just being like, oh, I'm like, you know, I need to be loved and have attention. But that's not why. In the
So
comics, Charlie in the past, something happened along the lines of he kind of spread the fact that Charlie was gay. He let it slip
Oh.
by accident. And so because Tao has a large mouth, Charlie's afraid that because Nick hasn't fully come out to everybody, that if he tells Tao that he'll
Let it
accidentally let it slip again. And they do have that talk and confrontation in the graphic novel, which is
Can we
kind
talk
of a
about
nice
Tao?
Tao was great.
I hated Tao.
I kind of hate him too in this
Yeah.
version.
Yeah.
Tao was great. I kind of hate him too.
I was
Well,
like,
I
that
hated
is
his
that
hair.
is a toxic friendship. He's being toxic. I know he thinks he's being a good friend.
So they don't really, the problem with the show with Tao's characters, they don't really go into how him and Charlie, like how their friendship really works. Tao has always been Charlie's biggest defender because when Charlie
got
was getting
that.
bullied, Tao was his only friend after Elle left to, you know, go to the girls' school because they are a trans individual, a trans woman, sorry.
By the way, Elle, I loved Elle. Probably my favorite character.
The actress herself is a trans woman as
Yeah.
well. So that was nice to learn as well. So I was like, aw. And she was super cute.
Yeah.
So I loved her hair. So
Yeah.
I love it. But Tao is one of those people who, he does things for attention because he's afraid of being abandoned.
See, and sorry to interrupt, but that's what I got as well. Like the way he behaves when he does find out about Charlie and Nick, I didn't necessarily dislike him because I understood that he has
He's a little dramatic.
He is dramatic, and I feel like he was more jealous of the fact that his friend Charlie, who, as you said, has been like this huge defender and all this other stuff.
Yeah, he's been the person in Charlie's life, and he has no romantic attachment to Charlie.
Right.
But it's like an older brother defending a younger brother or something.
And with Charlie making all these friends, not new friends on the rugby team, and meeting, well, okay.
One friend on the rugby
One friend on...
One very close friend.
Right. Never mind. But like, just breaking off from, I guess, what he would normally consider as being routine. I feel like he was getting jealous.
Well, it's not just that too. It's because he has those feelings for Elle, and Ellen has feelings for him too. And it's like it's.
Does he have feelings for Elle?
He loves Elle.
Because I didn't know that was really expressed. Because when she started getting all. Like, when she started thinking she had feelings for him, he was acting so aloof to everything.
So that's his whole point, and he does the same thing in the graphic novel. They both try to keep it a secret because they're afraid of ending the friendship. They're afraid that if they take the step further and tell each other how they feel, that it'll just break things apart. And Tao's over here
Bite
trying
the bullet,
to
kids.
wrestle.
It's okay.
Tao wrestles with that fact too.
Remember, kids, fear is the mind killer.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's worth it to take the leap, but at the same time, I understand the feelings of not wanting to destroy something that you've built that's so good to have it just kind of blow up.
Yeah.
And so they're both afraid of that. It's nothing to do with their sexuality.
But
they
end up getting together. I'm guessing.
That's what the season 2 is going to be. Happy the parish trip.
I feel like that was the only thing that they really teased at the end of season 1 was the two of them.
I was afraid. I was getting so angry when they were in the art room. I'm like, don't you dare put them together yet. I was like, don't. I'm not a stickler for every single detail being put in a show when it's based off of work, but I am one of those people. I am.
Like. Yeah.
I am. But it's
just
one of those things
admit
where
it, Amanda. It's okay.
Well,
you're in a safe place, Amanda. It's okay.
It's like I've watched so many adaptations that sometimes if I haven't read the book, I try not to read the book first before I watch a show or a movie that's based on, so I'm not as disappointed. I think of the book as like, giving me extra detail on things. But I read the comic because webtoons are pretty accessible. They're free and they're easy to read, and you can get through them like. I got through Heartstopper within 3 days. I haven't seen the new chapter today though. Updated. But I was glad that they didn't end up kissing in the art room. Yeah. So I was like, please.
Ready for that.
I was like, the parish trip is such a fun arc. Because a lot of people get to spend time alone with each other and also form new friendships, and they introduce new characters. And it's so much fun because you also have the rugby team come back. And how are they feeling?
Does Harry come back? I hated that little.
Yeah, he does. He's still a butthead. No. But the team starts to. There's 2 or 3 members on the team who come back to Nick and are like, "Yo, we understand." Yeah. And we know that Harry has a big cool.
I just keep forgetting this is British, so I'm like, whoa, this school is really into rugby, and this Paris trip seems expensive.
When really all they can do is take the channel, and they're in Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also going to be a little romance between the teachers, which is my favorite part of the graphic novel is the teachers. There's one really grumpy science teacher. He's super grumpy. He's pessimistically grumpy. And you have, the art teacher who's, really happy, and he's really positive, and it's so cute with them. And I'm just they're the reason I'm reading the graphic novel at this point. They're what keeping me in there. I'm those little bonus scenes, and I'm like, it's like a 40-year-old man who wanted to come out of the closet but never was able to do it, and so the guy tells him it's okay, it's never too late to try and experiment. He's such a positive being for this grumpy little man, and I'm just like, this is what I'm here for. And they snuggle on the Paris trip, and I'm just like, they're sharing a room, and you're like, oh, they're gonna have so much fun to go to. Like, it's so happy for everyone. I read yaoi for a while. Yeah. So this is a very PG graphic
I see where Amanda's mind is going.
I mean, I have my pin. It's like I read yaoi for the plot, so you know. Hey. Going back to Charlie. Sorry, diverging too much. Charlie is very complicated, as I said, abuse and a lot of self-esteem issues. The graphic novel will continue more, and if you notice, Charlie doesn't eat that much.
I did notice that.
And it gets worse.
Uh-oh.
So Charlie, you find out Charlie eventually that he has an eating disorder, and he is a cutter.
Oh man!
Or in the past, he used to do it because of all the abuse.
So nice. Now it's gonna get so serious.
But Nick is a wonderful boyfriend and notices these things and wants to help, and he does get Charlie help, and it's a process, and I like that they do that.
Yay.
Because Nick is there because Charlie's parents don't even know.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know how to tell his parents, and it's one of those things where if you have someone very supportive with you, they'll go with you, and they'll push you to talk to the people who need to know.
Mm-hmm.
And they can help you get the help. And they know that you can't get fixed within, like, maybe a year or half a year or something like that. And it's a process, and it's a slow burn.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it kind of great. Is honestly, like, with stories like this, it can get kind of like, oh, everyone's together now. I guess the story's ended.
Yeah, yeah.
There's really not much to tell anymore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But by adding that little feature, but also working with it really well, they do a very good job. So the show starts off kind of in the honeymoon phase of things.
Yeah. But you do see kind of inklings of how past traumas can affect them. So I liked that they didn't really, it wasn't like a pronounced thing, but it was something that you can tell that they're kind of laying the foundation for, especially with, I mean, the most glaring example is with Charlie and Ben. You see kind of the trauma that Ben has inflicted on Charlie.
Ben is such a butthead, and
Yeah,
I hate him. And even
douchebag.
they got a kid who looks just as annoying, and I'm like, whenever I see his face, I'm like, ew.
Ben's
looks like a douchebag. Yeah. We could say right? Is
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's pretty rough.
I mean, this is
over
the
in
British
England
episode.
land.
Right?
Is it really?
It is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
I lived
British
there
episode.
for a year. I'm okay.
You lived in England?
I lived in Scotland for a year.
Oh.
Aw, my people.
My people as well. Anyway.
Did anybody else at the beginning of pretty much every episode say the line from Forgetting Sarah Marshall that Paul Rudd says when he's like, "You sound like you're from London"?
No.
I've never seen that movie.
No one else thought of that like every single time?
No.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, it's such a funny movie.
I know of the movie.
So underrated.
It's the beginning of the illustrious 2-film Out of Snow universe.
God.
Oh man, what was the other one?
Get Him to the Greek.
That's right.
Or, Jonah Hill
I
is in
love
both
Get
and
Him
plays
to the
an entirely
Greek.
different character.
Yeah.
Get Him to the Greek is one of my all-time favorite comedy movies. I own that movie. I watched that movie religiously
Amanda,
for so long.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think about Get Him to the Greek maybe like 5 times since it came out.
No! I love like the music though.
I don't even think
What do
I
you
made
think
it
about
through the
African
movie.
Child?
Well, what I really like about Heartstopper is, like in each episode, they have like little animations.
Yeah.
So
That come
like,
from the
I like
graphic
that
novel.
too.
Those are the
Yeah.
creators' drawings.
which
Yeah.
I really love because it's like it gives like this like internal thoughts of the characters. So like when Nick goes to Charlie's house and Charlie falls asleep on the couch and his hand is open and Nick goes to like not really like hold his hand, but like just hold, and the sparks start flying there. I was like, oh, it's so sweet.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. The animation.
I liked that they kept a lot of the text messages because a lot of the graphic novel is reading the text.
That was the other thing I
messages.
wanted to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
First off, when what's the girl's name?
Which girl?
The girl, the lesbian couple.
Oh, there's Tara and Darcy.
Tara, yeah. When Tara posts on Instagram that her and Darcy are a couple,
Mm-hmm.
and then Nick brings it up to Charlie, and Charlie says, "Oh yeah, I saw that she posted on Insta." First off, that depressed me so much because of how much social media is part of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And like how kids live on social media. And I know that wasn't even the point of what they're doing, but I'm like, their entire lives are on social media, and it's just like, I don't know how anyone does that. But then the other thing is they're texting on Instagram. Is that something that people do?
Oh, they weren't
People
texting
DM
on
on
Instagram.
Instagram
Those
a
are
lot,
like,
yeah.
that was just a message app. That wasn't on Instagram, was it? Or they texting?
I don't know,
I
but
think
people do.
I think they were
DM
just
on
regular,
Insta.
but yeah, you can
it
DM
wasn't
people.
on Instagram? Oh.
No, it was just a regular. That was like Apple, whatever you do.
I thought
on
that
your
was
Apple phones.
Instagram.
I thought it was too. I'm
'Cause
almost
I-
positive it was.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna check right now. I got Instagram.
Because
right
like,
here.
you see Nick's Instagram picture, and
Yeah.
Charlie sends him
Yeah.
a message.
Yeah. I was like, really? Texting on Instagram? Like,
Yeah.
that's a thing?
Oh, it might be. Yeah, I mean,
I'm not that old.
Well, I mean, you can.
you can message on any social media.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know,
How
but
am I
like
supposed to
that's
talk
their
and commission
but that's
artwork
their
from my
primary
favorite
form of
artists?
communication. I guess it's free, right? So you don't
Always
need
free.
like you don't need like a plan, is what I'm saying. Like you don't need like a phone plan. All you need is an internet connection.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
You could do
it's
that on
popular,
iPod
but it
Touches for a
is.
while.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't explain it.
It's
Yeah.
the culture of the younger generation.
There's also like iPod Touches, like way back when. I know.
Younger kids
had those
please,
like
let
text
me
apps
know.
where if you needed to text somebody, they would give you like a number, like
Like WhatsApp.
a temporary number.
Oh,
They used to
really?
have apps on like iPod Touches and stuff like that where you could download it and it'd be like a messenger app, or if you needed to text somebody,
So weird.
but you can't text with an iPod Touch, they would have apps that would act
Well,
as
like
if like
that's
their
how
phone.
like Kick
thing,
got
yeah.
big, right? Yeah.
Kick was
Yeah.
a thing. That's right.
So
Is Kick still a thing?
I
Yes.
don't know.
Oh,
Kick's still a thing.
yeah.
Things I have
I don't use
no
it.
idea about. So
I try to keep up to date.
Again, not an important issue. I was just it glared out to me how much Instagram was used. And there, I mean, all the text conversations, which I liked, all the text conversations were through Instagram. I mean, it was just, and then they mentioned Instagram, and you know,
Instagram sponsored the whole show.
yeah. I mean, it was just like,
product placement.
yeah,
Getting those
That's
Zuck
why the
bucks.
shots were so colorful and photogenic.
yeah.
It looked like you wanted to take a photo there. That ice cream truck.
But I just wanted to bring something up about Tao again, since since it was mentioned that he's very much a creature of habit and he's very much a creature of tradition. A key like sort of aspect of that is when he when they're at lunch and he has 2 apple juices and he says, "I bought one for Elle
Yeah.
because I forgot that she doesn't come to this school anymore."
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's like an important aspect of his character. And I can kind of understand because I have a big thing with friendships in media in general. Like I love strong friendships. I hate when friendships break up.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one of my good friends was hanging out with this other girl who I didn't like. I had a problem with her. I didn't think she was genuine. And
She was a faker.
that's how I perceived her. You know, whether or not
And
she was.
what is she
That's
like?
a-
Are they still friends?
No.
Why not?
I
What
have no
happened?
idea. This was in high school. Like,
Make something up for the people.
no, that's okay. And I remember being,
Spread lies on the internet.
no, I'm honest. And I remember being very upset. Like one time I was talking to her, and I think I was upset because she wasn't hanging out with me. And then I heard the girl's voice. I said, "Oh, so you're with so and so? You would have thought we were dating." And then the other girl came on the phone, and I did not want to talk to her. I said, I don't want to talk to you. Like I want to talk to my friend.
What? That's kind of crazy.
Go, Simona, go!
That's weird. Is that like that's weird?
Really?
That's-
Because that happened to me too. I was going to.
Weird in what way?
Yeah.
That you were talking to your friend and her other friend got on the phone and said, "I'm hanging out with her"?
No, it was basically I think I had called, like I wanted to hang out, but I think my friend, I don't know if she wanted to include the other girl, and I was not about that. I was like, I don't want to tag along. I just
But it's
wanna,
okay to sometimes say that to people,
Yeah.
especially if you
Oh,
have
yeah.
But
But for
I've been
the other
there.
friend to say to you, "No, I'm hanging out with her right now."
No, the girl didn't say that.
Oh.
Lou, you're creating drama where there's no drama that exists.
Create the drama.
So my point is, I understand Tao because I've seen how in many ways, like when my friend had boyfriends, forget about texting, forget about hanging out. Yep. It was all about her boyfriends.
Yep.
It's the honeymoon phase.
Whatever was the annoying phase. And I remember
the honeymoon phase.
I was sitting with her and I was saying, and at one point I was like, if you're going to just text him, then I'm leaving because that's not why we're hanging out.
Why were you hanging out?
Don't give him anything, Simona. Don't give him anything. Just continue what you're doing.
So yeah.
Just ask a question.
We've been there. It's okay. We've all been there.
No, we were just hanging out. Like I had called to just hang out, and we were at the bus stop. I don't know where we were planning to go, but she wasn't talking. She was literally just like. So I was asking her a question. She was just, and I said,
You should have been reading her text messages.
If that's what you're going to do, I said, I'm leaving. So I started walking away, and then she started running after me. I said, I'm not staying. I said, we're supposed to be hanging out. Don't talk to this guy. We're hanging out.
Where were you guys going?
I don't remember.
Oh.
Okay, to make it more salacious.
It's not about the destination.
We were going to a bar.
No,
in
you
high
weren't.
school?
No, you weren't.
Just kidding.
And it wasn't even high school. We're like in college at this point.
Oh.
But anyway,
But are you 21 in college?
My long-winded point was that I understand Tao.
Yeah.
He definitely doesn't have, his behavior is not healthy, but I understand him, especially when you see that. I think it also is a matter of
This boy needs constant reassurance.
But he's also very content with his inner circle. I'm honestly the type of person, too, where once I've established a core set of friends, I don't need to go outside to bring any more in. Mm-hmm. It's almost like I got my people, that's it.
So you don't need another host on the Caffeinated Librarians?
No. So it's like once I have my people, I don't let anyone in. So to answer your question, Lou, no. We got the 2 hosts.
What the hell are the 3 of us? We're just chopped liver.
We're guests.
And Ben is coming back at some point.
We're guests, Lou. That's all we are. We're just guests.
We're weekly guests.
We are.
All right.
Extras.
No.
See what you got. See how the show goes if you don't have the 3 of us.
Who's going to be running the audio?
Exactly.
There's no cameras in here.
My God, how threatening. No,
Oh!
Wow.
Don't mess with Simona.
Well, guys, thank you for watching.
This is the series finale.
Literally stopped Lewis's heart. Simona is the Heartstopper.
Yes. My God, I guarantee this is gonna be one of the few videos where everyone's gonna be hating on me. It's like she's like the Yoko to everyone's. You're
See,
all
I'm one of the
stuff.
Look, I think we've all been in that situation where we've had a friend, a really good friend, and we feel like they've been stolen by somebody else.
Yeah.
I've been there several times.
Yeah.
I've been there when the group shifts.
Yeah.
And even though you introduced the person to the group and then they liked them better and they just kind of went that way.
Yep.
We've been there before.
It's harsh.
Lou, you've never been in that situation before?
It is a
honestly,
sucky situation.
I honestly cannot say that I have been in that situation.
I'm not going to go into details about that one on here.
Please
but
do.
I'm afraid no.
We could always cut it.
No, we can't.
I
This
made a
is
friend.
live. So to kind of bring it back to Heartstopper, one of the points that you made up was actually something I was thinking about at the end of the season. You said you're not very good at relationships. You weren't very good at relationships in high school, and I'm sitting here watching this show, and it really is. It's a very sweet show. It's a very nice show, but you start to think about it again. I think they're only like 15 or 16.
They're 15.
And I had this feeling in my mind. I'm like, that's going to suck so much when this relationship doesn't work.
It's like Nick's a year older, so he'll go to college first before Charlie
And I don't know
does.
if that's going to be part of the graphic novels. I don't know if that's going to be part of the show. But like, if you are thinking about it realistically, like this really sweet couple probably more than likely isn't going to make it.
Well, it's one of those things where they have started talking about it in the webtoon. They have started talking about it. Where he's going to go.
I'll give you hope.
But that's reality.
No, I have a real life example that
that's
it works.
what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean,
It works. Yes, I know. So I know this girl that she has been with her now.
Can we give her a name?
No. So Jane.
So we're just gonna keep saying this girl and.
So I have a classmate. We'll call her Jane Doe, who has been with John. Is it the same girl? No, this is Jane Doe too.
My Jane Doe's in North Carolina.
So
Doe's a very common last name.
Yeah. So basically, this girl that I've known since high school, she has been with her now husband since middle school.
Wow.
So
I would think that
to all the naysayers, it's possible.
I think it's a rarity, though.
It is a rarity.
It doesn't matter if it's rare. The point is, it's a possibility. So stop with the negative Nancy's. All right.
Well, it depends. I will say the graphic novels are getting to that point where where Nick is starting to try to figure where he wants to go, and he doesn't want to go far away because he doesn't want to leave Charlie behind.
Aww.
But at the same time, he wants to pursue rugby. Mm-hmm. He wants to pursue it as an actual career.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where, it's something they're talking about, whereas they're both very supportive of each other. I love when we finally get to, they're getting out of high school and they're not going to be together anymore. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
I love stuff like that because then it's no longer trying to discover your sexuality anymore. It's about discovering who you are as a person.
And your sexuality is just part of you.
Exactly.
And they still, high
school is kind of like the place where you start to think about it because relationships, everybody's together, and relationships are really important when you're in high school. Even the teachers in the show were like, "You haven't made any friends yet," and I'm like, "Get off my back!
Yeah.
How about that? You go make some friends." When everybody's
the one teacher giving Elle an assignment, she's like, "How about you make a friend by the end of the week?" How about you go screw yourself? It ain't that easy.
Legitimately, the other teacher, the art teacher, I think he's the same one that's going to get with the science teacher, the one that we've seen who's on Charlie's side.
Yeah. He's so cute. I like that teacher.
I didn't realize, I think I might have skipped that in the graphic novel because sometimes with the two separation of the schools, I get very confused as to do only women teachers work in the all-girls school? Oh. Or is there, I thought that the art teacher was part of the women's school and that the science teacher was part of the boys' school. So that was my understanding, but they put the art teacher in kind of this in the boys' school. So I think I missed something there, but I'm glad to see him. But he's not super positive and upbeat like his character is in the comic, which is why I love him. He's just he's literally an artsy person who is just Cloud9, very you guys do you, just be safe and stuff like that. He's soft tone, whereas you have grumpy science teacher. I love them. I'm sorry. They're the best.
I don't know. I feel like the art teacher was positive.
He was positive, but he was very sassy.
Well, yeah. I mean, he was just
not sassy in the comic.
Because I feel like trying to sugarcoat anything with Charlie wouldn't work, and he needs a dose of reality as well, a push. Otherwise, he's gonna hide and isolate himself, and it's not good.
The other thing I didn't like was the gym teacher. She is one of Charlie's biggest advocates in the comic, and they barely gave her any of those moments where Charlie goes to her after school because she's the one that starts noticing the bullying on the rugby team. And she pulls him aside and asks him to come to her office. And she's also a lesbian.
Oh.
Because, she tells him, well, you're not the only, person who's out to deal with that. And you see a picture on her desk in the comic books of her and her wife.
She does say that at the end, though, when he quits the rugby team, she does say and she says it kind of forcefully that you understand that she's lesbian. She says there are gay people that play sports.
Yeah, that was one of her big moments, but you get to see this picture of her and her wife, which is super cute in the graphic novel, while Charlie's sitting in the office with her. Yeah. And it's because she is such a fun character in the comic books. Even though she has little scenes, she has more of a presence, especially in Charlie and the rugby team's big things. I wish they had done more of the scenes from the graphic novels in the rugby training sessions. There's a scene where Charlie makes a goal, or I don't know the rules of rugby, but he makes what I would say is a goal.
It's a goal.
Yeah. And
is it a goal or is
Nick picks him up on the field.
It's a goal.
Nick picks him up on the field and like swings him around, like he like picks him up and everything, and he's like, yeah, and it's only him, and it's just the two of them, and it's the happiest little scene during their training montages in an actual game that Charlie got to be a part of, and it's one of the cutest scenes ever. I love that scene. So I was like, oh.
Yeah, that wasn't included though.
No, I was very
It's a
sad
shame.
about that.
That would have been nice.
Because then you guys actually got to see Charlie actually play rugby.
Yeah,
Instead
they
of just
didn't
being an
really.
extra.
They didn't really show much of that. I mean, there was one
He
episode
scores once.
where he like was standing on the sideline, and then the other episode where he's basically bulldozed by that team that beat them like 25-0.
Yeah, it's like the cutest little scene. Like you just see them, just kind of. It's just cute. It's pixelated, but it's like one of the cutest little scenes on the whole. It's cute. Get to see him in his little uniform. Rugby's an also very contact, intimate sport. So,
It is.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, oh, here we go.
Rugby's a tough game.
Yeah.
Rugby's a tough game. I went to West Point to watch the Army Penn State rugby match once, and Penn State was the #1 ranked rugby team in the country at the time. Army was #2.
You just had to throw that one
Shout
out.
out Penn State.
Just had to throw that out, Lou.
Yeah.
Of course you did.
And Penn State won, by the way.
Did you guys have any like favorite characters from the show?
Charlie is my favorite.
Charlie's your favorite.
Also his sister.
His sister is the goat.
Yeah,
His
sister
sister
was
is
cool.
great.
Yeah. Very supportive in like a subtle way. It was almost like they didn't need to go out of their way to say how supportive she was. She's
just even better like later on in the series. And
Yeah.
you're gonna love her. I won't spoil the scene because it's great. But since I said Nick's brother is kind of a a-hole, she has quite the confrontation with him. It is the best moment. And I'm like, good.
I also love Nick,
butler.
and I love Nick's mom, who is Olivia Colman.
Yeah.
And her.
How have we gone this long without bringing up Olivia Colman? Thank you, Katie.
You're welcome.
You really.
One of the finest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really, just
And just
Yeah.
like randomly shows
What
up
has she
in
done?
like episode, what was it, 2 or 3?
It
She's
was
in The Favorite.
2.
Yeah.
Didn't get to watch that.
She's just a jewel of British
Yeah.
cinema.
She
Yeah.
plays Queen Elizabeth
yeah.
II in The Crown.
She's in Hot Fuzz.
She is
Yeah.
in Hot
Yeah.
Fuzz. Yeah.
She was in
She's been in a lot of
the other
movies.
thing recently
Lost Daughter.
too. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
But I love when Nick finally tells her that he's bisexual, and I love that entire scene. Like I was in tears by the end of that scene because it's the reaction that anybody who is coming out with their sexuality to their parents is the reaction that you would want.
Have you watched the coming out TikToks?
No.
Okay. I watch it because I just like to
Again,
torture myself with.
Social media.
Yeah, well, it's
Did you just say you like to torture yourself?
with the.
Oh my god.
Would you let me fin?
I'm animal videos with that.
No, what I meant to say is that like I love watching it because you hope the reaction is gonna be good, but you end up crying or feeling like oh my god because like when the reactions are good, of course, and you go down the rabbit hole of watching these coming out TikToks, but. It just made me think too, and I was telling one of my sisters, it's such a shame that something like your sexuality, like you see the kids where like, you see that their hands are shaking, they're literally on the verge of tears, and all they're doing is saying, I'm gay.
Yeah.
And when you really think about it, it's like, if that's the worst thing your child can ever say to you, and I mean worst in quotes, I don't mean it, then that's a problem. Like when you really
Yes.
think about it, it's like it's such a shame where like just simply saying, "Oh, I'm gay" or "I'm lesbian." It's like, why is that such a big deal?
It's a lot. It's a heavily religious connotation when
Yeah.
it comes to that. I mean, there's,
It's
yeah.
it's a shame because I feel so bad where you have to be so fearful
and that's like,
of saying something simple
Right.
like
It's
that.
not like
Well,
you're
I
saying
mean-
you're a furry.
I mean, like it's like with that scene though too that I really like appreciated as well is like when Nick is trying to bring the courage to sell his mom. It's very believable. It's not
Yeah.
like he just went, "Oh, I'm bisexual," and it's like it's all
Yeah.
it's very.
There was this one girl. She actually baked a cake. It was the cutest thing, and on the cake it said, "I'm bisexual." So she like put it in front of her parents. It's like it was such a cute moment where the parents sit down, they're looking at it and they're like reading it. They look at her and and they smile, and of course the girl starts crying. But they were saying, it's okay. Why are you crying?
Yeah.
And it's interesting because like you see that fear, that anticipation, and it's like it's not like they're saying, by the way, I like to torture puppies. It's like it's like one of those things. Quiet, Lou.
Do that.
Quiet.
Me and Lou about to go on our
Quiet.
own SPCA raid over here. Like, ooh, puppy.
Well, I mean, it's because
it's a shame because
it's because kids who have come out to their parents, whose parents have had a very negative response to it, either come from a very religious household.
It's the product of conditioning.
It's the product of conditioning. Yeah. It's they end up homeless. Yeah. They end up getting kicked out of their homes. They end up losing their entire families. It's a really horrendous thing to have happen to somebody.
Yeah, it's just really sad.
There's still a stigma.
Yeah.
Because only I don't know when it was, but I mean, within our lifetimes, gay marriage was illegal.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, which is ridiculous. So I think that there's still a stigma about it, and that's why I think a kid would be scared to come out.
Yeah.
Or a person would be scared to come out.
No, there's the history of it. There's other cultures and how they have dealt with it, which is a bit more extreme, I would say, than the U.S. persecution of it, whereas ours is more of an emotional persecution. You have people who have literally lost lives because
we had
of
that
it.
Here.
So maybe not as much as some other cultures. Still
and
going
think of
on.
even the stigma in the 80s with AIDS.
Yeah.
People thought it was just gay men
exclusive.
that were having.
There's a really great novel, 86th. It's sort of about like the beginning of the AIDS crisis.
Oh yeah.
It's a great read.
Yeah.
It kind of comes at it from like a dark comedy angle.
Oh, yeah.
The author ended up dying of AIDS himself. But I mean, he has the right to come at it from that angle.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What's it called?
86th.
But you still have kind of for a long time, and again it's all propaganda. It's all people in power putting out this perception that AIDS is gay men, when really it wasn't. It was people doing a bunch of different things, and it was drug users and people sharing needles and stuff like that. And that's we won't get too much into this unless you guys really want to, but that's the same thing going on with the monkeypox right now. They're saying that was the first thing that they said was, it's transmitted this way and it must be gay men. There are other people that do things that way.
Yeah.
Let's be honest without getting too much into it. But
especially this culture.
But,
all
again,
the songs.
They there is still this stigma that is associated with it, because it's just, I think it's easy for people in power to
absolutely.
It's the easiest thing to blame, because then you can get on like
the bandwagon
with other people who believe that too.
Right.
And so especially with people who aren't science believers.
Yeah.
And don't want to step out of their own zone to actually live in the real world and know that
and I feel like
other people do things.
Yeah, and I feel like to some certain extent that stereotype has been relatively cleared up. I mean, it's still a very
still
big
present,
thing,
but it's
and
not as prominent as it once was.
We're seeing backlash now. And that's upsetting to see, but
I thought, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought in terms of blood donation that if you're gay they won't take it. Okay, so I'm not wrong.
That's still a thing?
They still have that restriction.
Which is idiotic for many reasons, and it just reminds me of this girl who, after she donated blood, she said, and I hope they check it because I smoke pot. And I had like this face, almost this like wanted to face, and I'm like, oh my god. Yeah. But like I was like, but she was a whole other story.
Yeah.
But
can you not donate blood if you smoke?
It's within the last 3 months.
Very strict things on it.
That's
like you can't give if you're like under a certain height either.
Really?
And it's weird.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So I think also a certain weight. You have to be a certain weight in order to donate, which I think makes sense because if you're
they don't want you like passing out.
Yeah, I think if you have to be a certain weight I think, as well.
Wow.
Never mind. I got the height thing crossed with sperm donations, which is sort of another weird area as well.
Let's circle back to that. You can't donate blood if you've donated sperm?
No.
What?
No.
No.
my
You
God.
have to be a certain height to donate
To
sperm.
donate sperm. Why?
Selection.
Frankly, it seems like some eugenic stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
right?
sounds like selection
it's
because
messed
when the
up.
woman goes to,
Yeah.
like, goes to ask for a sperm donor, a lot of things that I think it's a weird stigma nowadays, but I don't know much about genetics and stuff like that when it comes to talents. A lot of people look at, like, the career profile and, like, stuff like that. Like, if the man is, like, 6'3", or, he can perfectly play a violin and he's part of the New York Philharmonic.
You ever see that cut scene from The Office where Jan had a what's it called? I guess a sperm donor.
Yeah.
Pregnancy, and then Kevin's like, "Oh, where'd you go?" And then she says this place, and
it's
she's
him.
like, "He's like, oh, I donated there," and she was like, "I don't think so. It's very exclusive." And he was like, "By the IHOP," and she's like,
He's like, so the Red Cross still has the rule for men who have had sex with men, but it's 3 months. You have to defer 3 months. So if your last sexual activity was 3 months ago, then you can't do it. It says defer 3 months from the most recent sexual contact.
That's just stupid.
"Yeah, it still makes no
Yeah.
sense to me."
I could read more about it, but it's just, I guess it's
Because,
because, things. But there's no deferral for women having sex with women.
And there's no deferral for men having sex with women.
Well, there's always been the stigma all
Which
throughout
is
history
ridiculous.
about women being with women and men being with men.
Yeah.
Because for years, like, even during, like, the Victorian era, women would have, like, girlfriends. And they'd go over to their friend's house and they'd do things, but the men never caught it as cheating because you can't, you don't have the ability to produce a child. You don't have the thing.
Procreation is
You
the
don't have
key.
the thing that allows you to procreate with somebody else. Whereas a man who has the thing that is used to procreate.
I like how you've been using a bunch of euphemisms in this whole podcast. Whether it's
I'm
like Jane
trying
Doe, the thing that's
my hardest. I normally would never, and it's really hard to come up with it on the spot. But that's how it was, and that still kind of is how it is nowadays too, especially in, like, the prawn industry and
The what industry?
the prawn industry.
What's prawn?
I just switched 2 of the letters.
You can say that, right?
I don't think
porn?
so.
Well, it's
Oh,
weird
were you saying
because
porn?
some websites don't let you, like TikTok. You can't say that. You have
Oh,
to
really?
like call it the
Well,
corn.
TikTok's
You
like
call it the corn
like 12
industry
plus,
on
I
there.
think it's listed
Oh.
on the App Store, so that's why they.
Oh.
It's
Oh.
true. I know a lot of people
Oh.
censor
I
words nowadays.
legitimately didn't know you were just switching letters.
It's a meme term as well, and I just
so
use it
I
in
wasn't
case I
trying to
need
be
to
like-
censor. I just switch it. So
I legitimately had no
I just
idea.
didn't want to say corn. That's all.
Okay.
But I know.
The adult
I
industry.
can actually
adult
go off on the
industry.
corn lobby in the U.S., but I'll save that for if we ever talk about farming.
During the summer, stay tuned for a corn episode. Have like Bays.
Not the band.
No, wrong band. Wrong
Yeah,
band.
that's-
That's disturbing.
I don't know what I was thinking about with it. I think it's because of the raspy. I know corn too. Crap. Exposed. I'm out of here.
You're a
Fake
fraud.
emo.
Yeah.
That's not even emo. But yeah, in the adult industry, it's still stigmatized to.
We're getting off topic.
Look, this show's about
Heartstopper
sexual identity.
Well, there are the 2 lesbian characters, so we can tie this whole big.
Which are honestly.
Some of this will probably get caught. It's
I
fine.
sure hope so.
Oh my God.
It's fine,
That part.
but if we wanted to talk about Tara and Darcy,
Who were
Darcy
lovely.
is. I
They
love
were
Darcy.
both great. Yeah.
Darcy
Darcy's great.
is awesome. I think she's the kind of friend I would love to have because she is like out and proud. She knows
Yeah.
who she is. And I kind of had a feeling that she and Tara were a thing before the big, like,
Reveal.
yeah, like, I kind of had a feeling.
I think Darcy was the character I identified with the most
Yeah.
because when she's walking around with the trumpet trying to scare Tara, I'm like, that's the stuff I would do.
She's like a little chaotic energy.
Yeah.
And in the
Yeah.
graphic novel, they have like little character profiles where they tell you what their fun fact about them is. Her fun fact is, I once ate a whole jar of mustard for a dare.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Oh, that's tough.
She
I don't know.
is.
Are you able to put the mustard on something?
No, she just ate a whole jar of mustard.
Can't
She
do
is
that.
such a fun person.
I think I could eat a whole jar of mustard if I'm able to put it on something.
I
If
could
you
probably eat
gave
a
me
whole
hot
jar of
dogs
mustard.
to put it on, or even just
So
bread.
Even just bread, something
Yeah.
to absorb
I
it, so
could probably
it's
eat a
not
whole
just
thing of
raw
mustard.
mustard
Yeah.
just going down.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it.
I think I could do it.
I would rub the whole jar of mustard on chicken and cook it.
I think I could just
That's
down
cheating.
Why?
That's cheating.
Why?
Okay,
No,
is
it's
that
not.
cheating?
That's cheating.
No, it's
Why?
Amanda says cheating.
It falls
Joe's
on the plate. What are you gonna do,
The
lick the
deciding
plate?
vote.
I
No,
mean, like,
it's
you gonna
not
lick the
cheating.
plate?
It's the entire
If-
jar. You just put it on
if
chicken.
you're
Yeah,
allowing
but when
other
you eat the
things
chicken,
into the
sauce falls
equation,
off because
That's
mustard
not-
is not a sticky,
So
sticky
I think
sauce.
you're saying it's fair.
but
No, that's not how that works. No.
would
Yeah,
cooking
you're gonna cook
count
it up.
as
No.
transformative?
That's
War.
not, Amanda.
That's
That's
fine.
not how that works.
that okay. I
No,
think
it's
it
not.
comes down on the side that
Chicken sauces
cooking
are exactly like
transforms
that.
No.
Lick the
Yeah.
plate.
the character
Don't worry,
of the
I'll take
mustard.
bread
Or
with-
at least
and-
it.
No.
So the vote is illegal. Can't do it.
That's
There is one character I wanted to point out because I love him to death, and he has
Isaac?
no.
Because I feel like they didn't. Who's Isaac? The other friend.
it's almost like
His
he was-
name is Aled. First off,
Is it really?
the one who comes in occasionally, like the guy who throws the javelin.
Yeah.
His name is
was
Aled, I thought,
Aled?
unless they changed his name to Isaac.
No, they made his name Isaac.
Yeah,
Why?
His name is Isaac. in the show.
So they have a friend of the group named Aled who doesn't talk much,
Oh.
and I think
So
that's
why-
who he's supposed to be.
Why they
would
change his name?
I'll have to look that up because
Interesting.
Isaac was not his name. It was
Interesting.
Aled, and he actually has his own book, which was he has his own standalone
My
novel.
name is not Isaac. Is that the name?
Stop
It's
calling me
Radio
Isaac.
Silence. We don't know much. He's still kind of an enigma,
Yeah, that's what I
but
was
he's
gonna
one
say.
of my favorites. When he
Yeah.
pops up, he's like the friend who shows up and he says something nice, and he's like, "I understand," but he
And-
just kind of hides himself in his own world
I
constantly.
loved when he walked in on Nick and Charlie, and they're not really doing anything, but they're definitely closer than because at the time no one knows, obviously.
Yeah.
And so he walks in on them, and he's just like, "Sorry if I'm interrupting." and then he just walks out. I was like, "That's
He's
a good friend
so
right there."
adorable, but he
You know?
kind of is this character who lives in his own world. He always has headphones on when you
That's
see him.
pretty obvious because every time we see, and I like
I'm-
Isaac. I thought he got the short end of the stick, but every time you see him, he's literally reading a
Reading,
book.
yeah.
I'm wondering though if he's like on the spectrum.
We don't know yet, as far as I
Yeah.
know. As I said, he's kind of this character, and these little character profiles, they don't have much on him for these. They just tell you the MBTIs.
Yeah.
But
What's an MBTI?
it's like that.
It's a psychological test.
INFJ stuff. Like
That's what
yeah.
exactly what he is, though, INFJ, and I don't know what that means. I'd have to look it up
That's
because of, like,
introverted.
It's fine.
it's
Because
it's a lot of
that's
things.
my personality type, and then I took it again, and it changed
I
slightly, not
was
by much.
That's
that,
why
and,
it's
and then
Introverted, I think intuitive.
That's what we're doing on the next show. We're gonna take one of those.
It takes a long time.
ENFP.
ENFP.
That is
What's that stand for?
actually-
Extroverted, intuitive, I think.
ENFP is the same
Feeling
as Tau.
and what's the P? I don't know.
Prosperity.
So you're
Prosperity
aligned,
for 1,000 years.
So that means Joe's aligned with Tao, whose fun fact is I have a film review blog. He likes
Hey!
weird
Hey,
movies.
I did,
That's
yeah,
pretty
you-
accurate.
You can check out my letterbox.
Yeah.
So Elle also likes foreign films.
Yeah.
So, she likes...
Oh, I don't know what my thing is. I want a thing.
Oh, you can take a 30-minute test. You're
A
good.
30-minute test.
Yeah, no,
It's a lot of
Good.
questions.
It's like supposed to like slot you into career or something.
But you
It's
know-
really just fancy zodiac though. So.
But though, when I
Fancy
took it though,
zodiac.
when I got
The
so
wizard.
INFJ is introverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging personality traits.
Perceptive is the P. That's it.
Perceptive.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
And then I took it again, and I got like a slight change. And one of my change was being, I think, a little judgmental, or not judgmental.
I can confirm
We're all a
that's
little
accurate.
judgmental. She's going to come at you. She's got the hands.
But I took it. It's fun. It's a fun test. I mean, there are people that debate the accuracy and they say it's not scientific because those are the people that I call them killjoys. But
Yeah.
it's like
To be
It's like
fair,
and no BuzzFeed quiz is scientifically accurate, but they're fun.
Yeah, I'm not rolling
But if they
out
say
being
I'm
like,
Jasmine,
look,
I guess that's what I
BuzzFeed
am.
said I'm
Yeah.
Rue from Euphoria. So.
Drugs.
you're outgoing and do a lot of drugs.
She is
Apparently.
not outgoing.
On the DL. That's what their quiz say all the time. They don't make any sense. You're just like, okay. Which Disney princess are you? I'm totally this one. You're Jasmine. No, I'm not.
Oh, what Disney princess would you be?
I don't know.
Merida.
Why? Because she has red hair?
Your feet?
I hated Brave.
What?
Brave had a good concept.
I thought Brave.
Execution was
yeah,
not great.
I was
Her
so
face was also
disappointed in
really
Brave.
tiny.
What were you expecting to happen?
I don't know. I was kind of actually pumped for Brave, and then I was just really disappointed. And I don't know. It just
like the music.
became.
I'm not speaking to any of you about
It
this.
became whack.
I said I like it. It's not my favorite, but I liked it. It was okay.
I haven't seen it, but I know the mom becomes a bear.
Yeah.
That's
So they basically did
I
Brother
can- I
Bear,
can
but with a
respect
mother-daughter duo.
Yeah.
Brother Bear
No.
is weird.
No. No.
Fight.
Brother
Why
Bear
they
is
got
different
Joaquin
from
for
Brave.
Brother Bear?
It's Amanda, it's different. No, there's no similarities between any of these movies,
I mean,
and we're
there's
way
very
off.
little.
We're way off topic from what
There's
we're supposed to be talking
very
about.
Sorry,
little.
Joe's just gonna cut.
I don't
Understand.
I
The
like
other
this
side.
argument. I'm keeping it in.
What Disney princess would you be, Simona?
I really don't know.
Katie?
Pocahontas.
She jumps off waterfalls.
What Disney prince would you be, Lou?
No.
You can choose from guy with no personality or
Does
guy
her-
If
with
Lou
does-
wants to be a princess, he can be a princess.
Be a princess.
Yeah, that's
Lou.
If I was gonna be a
What
Disney,
Disney
if I was gonna
royalty
be a
would you
Disney
be?
princess, I would be Jasmine easily.
Jasmine's so cool.
Yeah.
Abused? Is there something going on?
What?
Is your voice not being heard?
I don't know how to.
Do you need to write a song about how you're
Which
not
is
a prize
so
to be won?
stupid because Jasmine in the Disney cartoon is far from voiceless and she's far from being unheard.
I'm talking
So
about
that live action,
movie.
I know, the
I didn't
live
watch
action
that.
remake.
Don't.
Wow, we really got way off topic.
If I were gonna be a prince, does Hercules count? Because I'd be.
Yeah, yeah.
Hercules
you
isn't
count
a
her.
prince.
He
Hercules is
technically
a demigod.
Can I be the
I mean, he
the,
did come
the
from the
weird
royal
dude
loins
from
of
Mulan?
Zeus.
Not like the guy she falls in love with, but like the short guy with the beard with the really raspy
Philoctetes?
voice.
Yeah.
No, from Mulan.
From
Oh, from
Mulan.
Mulan. Oh!
I know who
What
you.
was his name?
I would be Phil. I would
Yeah.
love to be Phil. I would actually rule. Be a little satyr.
Yao. His name is Yao. You want to be
That's
Yao.
it, Yeah, yeah. That
Yeah, he
dude's
was
funny.
great. He was so angry.
And I am Yao, king of the rock. And there's nothing you girls can do about it.
I like the guy that's always eating, the one who's always
The
going
big
like,
dude.
Yeah.
he rules,
Chempo.
He's
my
just
life.
so cute where they talk about the kind of wife they want, and I know it's all sexist and but whatever. He wants a wife that knows how to cook.
I mean, if your spouse
It's
doesn't know how to
practical.
cook. What's
And
going
I,
on?
and I like when Mulan says, "How about a girl
I
who
love
speaks
cooking.
her mind? Who's what does she say?
Nah.
She's always-
They don't.
How about a girl who's got a brain who always speaks her mind?
yeah, he goes,
Nah.
Nobody wants that.
Of course, no one wants that.
Ever.
I like Shang though. I think I'd want to be Shang because he's good looking and cool, and everyone respects him. Shang.
I would want to be okay, so the beast's human form, his name is Adam, and he's a hot tamale, so
He is.
He looks like Fabio.
Although the cartoon.
he does not look like
He's
Fabio,
got the
Amanda.
long hair and
No.
the open shirt, like on top of those
If
erotic
anything,
novels.
if anything, he looks like
Tight pants.
he's got similarities to Hercules.
Fabio has the coolest career. He's
Yeah.
just some dude that they were like, yeah, I don't know. Do you want to just be a
He's
sex
foreign.
symbol?
He's sexy. You want to be on a book cover? Yeah.
We're gonna put you on every book cover, man,
Don't
and you'll
cut
never
your
have to
hair.
work a day in your life.
Work out. No, don't do it.
Okay.
Okay, Heartstopper.
So I thought Heartstopper was great. I thought the relationship with Nick and Charlie was very sweet. I thought that the show was able to touch on a lot of things that, for 8 episodes that were only 30 minutes each, they were really able to touch on a lot of things. They touched on friendship and trauma, and they did it in a way that wasn't like too much.
It wasn't like in your face. You need to
Yeah.
know this.
Yeah. It wasn't like 18 hours of suicidal talk.
Yeah.
Lou is never gonna make me live this down. It's like you made me watch the I'm sorry. I'll
It was
never do it
I
again.
enjoyed Tomorrow,
I liked it.
which hopefully everybody watched last week. But yeah, this was nice after that.
It was lighthearted.
yeah.
And I have another recommendation. It's actually a short film. It's called In a Heartbeat. and it's a gay love story, and it's the cutest thing you will ever watch, and it's on YouTube.
Is it the animated one?
It is adorable. Yes.
I think I've seen.
Nobody's
that one.
heart stops, right?
No, it's
Alright,
about
good.
this boy. He sees his crush, and then like his heart comes out of his chest, and his heart's like saying, "He's so cute, you want him," and then it just goes from there.
Does the heart go back in his chest?
Oh yeah, this is a really cute animated film. It's like 4 minutes long.
And it won a few awards. It is
Yeah.
adorable. So, like for Pride Month, I'd really recommend that animated cartoon. It's adorable. No one dies. No one's depressed. It's just it's good times.
It's warm and heartfelt.
If we're going to be recommending things for Pride Month, aren't we talking about recommendations for Pride Month?
I think
Yeah,
next week.
next week I think it's like
Okay.
we're talking about like our favorite characters for Pride Month.
Oh,
I
okay.
completely forgot about
Maybe
that.
I'll hold off then on my recommendation. Yeah.
So-
Until next week, stay tuned.
So as for Heartstopper, the graphic novels up to date we have here at the library. They're very popular. Please, see your local library to see if they have a print edition of it. There's also novels written by the author in the same universe as Heartstopper. This includes, I believe, 6 books, except for the first one, which I'm told one of the characters' appearances in that one is technically not canon, but you can still read it. I know we have Loveless and Radio Silence. I think at our library, Radio Silence is actually the one where Isaac/Aled is actually more prominent in that one.
I actually read Radio Silence.
So that's his
Yeah.
book.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't put that together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually listened to Radio Silence because I ran a teen book club at the other job, and I listened to it, and of course they all have British accents, so of course I was saying, "And you sound like you're from London," throughout the entire audiobook. But I remember really liking Radio Silence quite a bit, actually.
So you'll love the Harry Potter books then, because you'll be shouting that nonstop.
Probably.
I'm sure that's what Lou thought when he watched Harry Potter.
Yeah, I
And
did.
read it.
I did. Well, I read it long before I saw Forgetting
Yeah,
Sarah
definitely.
Marshall. Yeah.
So.
But Forgetting Sarah Marshall, you guys really should check it out. If you haven't, it's really an underrated comedy. I think it's really good. Jason Segel plays with Muppets. It's really fun.
Who wouldn't want to play with Muppets?
It's a fun movie.
All right, so I think we'll end this episode here. Check out
Wait.
Heartstopper.
Do you guys have any final thoughts?
Yeah.
Or anything like that?
I loved Heartstopper. I thought it was really cute, really sweet, really heartfelt, and I loved the depiction of friendships, of romantic relationships. It's all in all, like it doesn't have like at least to me, it didn't have any like the stereotypes like you would see in other movies or TV shows or anything like that. So I thoroughly enjoyed it.
So yeah, Heartstopper is a really wonderful teen drama. I think it's also very important for kids within the LGBTQ plus community to see positive representation, to know that their lives are not destined for like depression and sadness, that they are capable of having happy moments. I think it's very important because you don't see that too often.
I like that. And I also think it's important for straight teens to see positive representations
Exactly.
of
yeah.
homosexuality.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that's all. If straight teens only see those negative depictions and everything like that, then they get these stereotypes in their head. That's why
Yeah.
we need these positive reinforcements and we
Exactly.
need
Yes.
positive representation.
And I would love for the author to watch this podcast, comment on it, tell us if you thought we did a good job talking about your drama, like us, subscribe.
We're
Get
gonna
those
regret
views
that
up.
when they comment and they're just like, I hate all of you. You misunderstood my words.
No, I don't think she's going to say that. Maybe Lou, but not me.
I don't know. I think me and Alice would get along very well.
I think so too.
I enjoyed the show. It is very wholesome and heartwarming. It's only going to get better, and there's going to be a lot more added in the seasons to come if they continue on past this next season. A lot more drama, a lot more to think about, a lot more to work on. All the positivity in it, though. So I do recommend it. I think it's very sweet, whereas it may not have been my first choice of something to read because I'm a person who loves depressing stories. It is very sweet and very wholesome, and I do look forward to reading every chapter when it comes out. So, yeah.
Get off social media.
I'm on social media right
Kids.
So you need to be on it. You need to be on it in order to like our Instagram page, our Facebook page, our TikTok. We have an excellent teen TikTok, so stay on social media. Just not too much social media. Read a book, which is when you come into the library and you
also
actually
have
borrow
a Discord.
one. Yeah, we have Discord too.
Social media.
Social media.
There's a balance. Have a balance in your life.
Social media.
Amanda, you gotta take us out now.
So with that, we'll leave you here for today. Happy Pride, everyone. Join us next week when we start talking about some of our favorite LGBT reads and watches. So
And characters.
Have a great day, guys.
Bye.